What is up, everybody? Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully everything's going well. I am getting ready to train some back and triceps. So the pre-workout today is Klout Power. See that? Yeah, you can use code SCHNAPP, SCHNAPP, link in the description for 10% off. That's so weird I'm saying that. But yeah, honestly, great pre-workout, love it. Non-GMO, super clean. Energy is amazing. And I literally get some of the craziest pumps on this stuff. So definitely recommend it. If you're looking for pre-workout, down below. Definitely check it out. So today's video is going to be more based on a workout breakdown. Essentially, I'm going to be doing, well, I'm training back and triceps. So I'm going to essentially break down how I do the sets, the reps, how I start my workout, how I end it. There's going to be a montage in there, but there's also going to be a voiceover section, as well as me just talking to the camera. I'm also thinking about kind of including a recipe I've been making recently for my diet. It's kind of like a dessert type thing, but it tastes really good, super high in protein. So stay tuned later in the video for that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys when I'm at the gym and we'll get right into the video. Oh shit. All right, so to start my workouts, I always start with a very extensive like warm up. I always do like very lightweight, really feel my back, because I've always had lower back issues since I've started, since I was a young kid really. So I don't like doing anything too heavy. So yeah, but once I get into the workout, which you'll see in a second, because I'm gonna start doing the voiceover, you'll see that like I go right into working sets. But things on like rack pulls, those are like very drawn out warm-ups to really make sure my back is engaged and I'm loose, so I don't pull anything, so I'm not trying to get. All right, what's up, quad squad? I think that's what I'm gonna start. Honestly, that's kind of fire. The legs are one of my genetic strong points, so I'm thinking quad squad might be the name for everyone that all the subscribers I get and stuff like that. But anyway, going back to the workout. So I start off with rack pulls, and as you saw before, I was doing nothing but a bar. That's essentially a personal preference. I like to start off very, very light, really make sure I get my muscles loose, my lower back loose, everything really loose and ready to go so that I don't injure myself on the top sets. But see, as you can see here, the cuts seem like I'm going up a ton of weight, but realistically, I only go up about 50 pounds every single time. And then as I get heavier, my reps go down. So I start off in the high rep, anywhere from 8 to 10, very slow controlled. And then the heavier I get, I go from anywhere from like 2 reps to 3 reps to possibly even 1 rep, depending on the jump. And as you can see there for 315, I did 3 reps because that was the weight I was doing right before my working set, which you can see right now. So for working sets, on rack pulls, I do about 3 sets of 8 reps or so. And then after, a few times, whether it be like a couple weeks, or even a workout, depending on how I felt, if it was super easy and I felt like I could have gone heavier, then I might go up another 5 pounds or 10 pounds depending on how I feel the next time. But as you can see, 355 here, especially in a cut, it's been kind of difficult for me, but this is the first time I hit 3 by 8 in the past 2 weeks since my cut has started, so I'm really happy with that. My strength is still slowly going up and the pounds are slowly going down, so that's a good thing. So I'm probably going to sit at 355 for a while. This is my second set. Every set gets heavier, or not heavier, but harder rather. And you can tell here it's a little more of a grind. The whole cage shakes every time I drop the weight, but it's alright. Yeah, and make sure on this one you're trying to keep your back straight as possible. If there's a slight bend, it's not a bad thing, but you don't want like hunching your back like a humpback, or like you don't want to look like a camel doing this stuff, or you're really going to screw up your back in the long run. You're going to be walking around like you're crippled and stuff like that, and you don't want that. So then we go into lat pull-downs, and with lat pull-downs, I like to, as you can see right here, the slow-mo, I retract my scapula, pull my shoulder blades back, and then I start the movement. And what that does is basically allows me to focus even more on my lats and really making sure I'm getting as much back activation and back engagement as possible. And for me, I wrap my thumbs around the bar. You can't really tell, the video's a little bit faster, but if you can see, my thumbs are slightly wrapped around. That allows me to get more back activation rather than biceps. If I wrap my hands like a normal grip with my thumb around the bar, like underneath and like touching my fingers, then that's when I kind of get more bicep fatigue quicker than my back actually fatigues. And as you can see here, my scapula is being retracted, my lats are being fully spread at the top, not full lockout, just past full straightening of my elbows, which is something I also like to do. It allows me to kind of like help spread my lats a little bit more and get better activation. You don't want to swing too much on that movement. You want to stay more upright, because the more you swing, the more you turn into a row, and that ends up working thickness rather than the width of your back. Next up, we do dumbbell incline rows. I forgot to mention with the pull-downs, I do those for about 3 sets of 15 reps. Now with dumbbell incline rows, I do these for about 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Depending on the day, I might go a little bit heavier. Depending on how I feel, I might go even a little bit lighter, a little bit higher of a rep range. But with these, something that really helped, and I get told from my friends and stuff like that, or just anyone that, just being on social media, seeing that people always say this is like a movement that people have a hard time engaging their back in. Something that helped me is kind of thinking that there's like a penny or something on the floor, and I'm trying to reach down and pick it up and then pull it and put it in my back pocket. And that's kind of what you want to think of. You want to think of like stretching to grab it, which is the dumbbell, you grab it, and then you're pulling and you're trying to put the dumbbell in your back pocket. You're trying to get your hand to touch the back pocket. And at the same time, that's kind of rowing it to your waist, which is right where you want it. And yeah, great movement overall for thickness and width, and just a great back developer. So next we transition into single arm pull-downs or lat pull-downs. And for me, I struggle with building a wider back. So I'm really putting a lot of emphasis on that recently, really trying to make sure that I hit my back as hard as possible and try and get it as wide as possible. That's why my workouts for my back tend to be more on the wider engagement side. So with this, you don't want your elbows fully straightened like the other one, but when you don't straighten it fully, you kind of can see at the very end, my lat kind of comes out a little bit more, and then I can pull down. For me, again, engagement, it helps with me pulling down, and it helps me with making sure that I'm getting as much activation in my lats as possible, because if you don't feel the muscle, even not just your back, but just any muscle, if you don't feel your muscle being worked, then you're not going to grow. I mean, you could simply pull the entire stack of weights, and if you don't feel your back being moved, then you're not going to work your back. You're going to work other secondary muscles that you're not trying to. Another tip I never mentioned earlier with anything with back, try pulling with your pinkies. And then next up, we have a cable pullover. And with these, pulling with your pinkies, like my pinkies are up against the end of the rope, so I really focus on pulling with those. My elbows are the leading drive behind this movement. Really try and row to your waist. Some people like to keep their arms completely straight. I don't. I like to bend them a bit at the end because it helps me get a little bit of an extra squeeze. And yeah, this is just a great back movement. I superset the last two. I superset the single arm lat pull downs with cable pullovers, both for 4 sets of 15. But yeah, and then here's a little back update. You can kind of see my back. Feels pretty good. And I'm really happy with the progress I made. It used to be a weak point, and now it's starting to take over and become, a little bit of a stronger point. Still always trying to work on getting better, but I'm really happy where it's come so far in the past 6 months. So next up is tricep press downs or push downs. The biggest thing with these is keeping your elbows still and not leaning too much into it. If you lean too much, you're going to start using more chest, you're going to start using your delts, and you're not really going to be using as much tricep, and you're not going to see that much growth in it. You're going to be pushing more weight, but you're not going to get the benefits. So really control it, 3-second negatives. This is like press downs are extremely beneficial when you control the weight and you're not just like flinging it around. Take it slow, control it. I'm promising you'll see great growth. Next up is overhead tricep extensions. I usually do these with dumbbells, but I did it with cables today. Really just take it slow again. With triceps, I like to go very slow. And when you get the extension at the bottom, you're really making sure you're pumping as much blood into it, getting as much activation to get a really, really good pump and see the most growth. With the past 2 exercises, I do about 4 sets of 12 reps. And yeah, make sure they're slow and controlled. That's where I'm going to end it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and consider subscribing to join the Quad Squad.